Well, Kicks Week is underway here on News 12 as a big event is set to happen in Coney Island. We're talking about Sneakercon, and one of the founding members of that event joining us now in studio, managing director Will Debord, and of course, you had to bring some sneakers too.
I had to bring the heat. Got some grills.
I love it. Okay, so let's talk about Sneakercon. I mean, you and I have been talking. It's just universal for everyone, young, old. Everyone needs a pair of sneakers. What's this event all about?
Yeah, it's all walks of life, and it really is about the hustle and bustle that started with like reselling shoes, but has now expanded so much into like this just entrepreneurial environment where young kids to older people are just, trying out businesses, starting their own brands, selling their art. Like, it's really just a marketplace for creativity and entrepreneurship. And, we've been able to nurture that and take it all around the world.
And I mean, what did you bring with us today? Are these going to be sneakers that we're going to see at the event?
I mean, some of them you probably won't. Some of these shoes are very, very rare. I mean, I have a Penny Hardaway autographed Supreme, the store Supreme, the skate shop. They did a Foamposite shoe with Nike back in 2014, I want to say, and I got Penny Hardaway's autograph on that. Those are shoes that he wore. I mean, I could go into all of these if we have the time.
Well, let's talk about a few.
Yeah.
That one has my eye. I feel like my kids would love that one too.
So this is actually Nike Artifact. Artifact is a new brand under Nike, and they started with the whole like NFT, having an NFT for access for a shoe. So these shoes were a pre-order, and it was the first ever time that the artist from Japan, Takashi Murakami, collaborated with Nike in all their existence, and they've been around both for 30, 40 years, 50 years.
Wow.
This is the first time. So this shoe was only available to holders of the NFTs by Artifact.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And I mean, so you see the progression of shoes too. We got to talk about the classic though,
oh man,
right?
So this is actually a remake of the original Jordan 1, which you would have seen in like the movie Air, right? And Virgil Abloh, rest in peace, the designer for Louis Vuitton. He did a lot of work with Nike, the brand Off-White. He recently passed, but this shoe was his first shoe with Nike. It was part of the original 10, and man, this is a grail amongst grails of shoes.
Probably not one you would ever wear.
I wear all my shoes.
You do?
Yeah.
That's so neat.
I wear all my shoes. I haven't worn maybe these or these, but I've worn most of the shoes.
Well, you might as well enjoy them. Okay, so let's talk about Sneakercon. Do you have recommendations for buying, selling, retrading, or trading shoes? What do you recommend the plan people have if they're going to Sneakercon?
Bring cash, because cash is king. You get the best deals when you can offer a seller cash for it. Definitely you want to take them, if you don't really know too much about certain shoes, you want to take them over to the eBay booth where they do the free authentication on site. So you can bring any shoe that you're looking to buy, you can bring it to them. Their experts will look at it, examine the shoes, and let you know if they're authentic. Counterfeits are a big issue. So that's part of also why Nike Artifact puts the NFC chip in the shoes. And this custom shoe here that we made special for this event has also an NFT chip by a company named Zentag, which allows for provenance, which is like tracking ownership through the trading. So imagine 30 years ago, Nike knew everyone who bought the Jordan 1 and was able to reward them today when they release a new shoe. Ooh. And they could gain access automatically instead of, taking a loss, trying for a raffle. Nowadays it's really hard to get certain shoes. So, the brands can reward their true collectors through the technology that's embedded into the shoes. You
wouldn't think shoes and technology go together, but it does.
Yep.
And these are really important too. These are going to be auctioned off, right?
Yes, so this will be auctioned. All the proceeds will go to a nonprofit by the name of Arete Education that does a lot of work for youth in the Bronx. The reason we chose that foundation is because J-Tips, the designer who recently did some releases with Saucony, the brand. So what we did was we took his designs with Saucony, deconstructed the shoe. A guy by the name of Johnny's Kicks deconstructed the shoe and remade it with premium materials. So this is a one of two. We call it the What the J-Tips. And it's got the Zentag NFC chip there, so you can tap it and make sure the shoe is like authentic, and it will forever link the designer J-Tips, the creator Johnny's Kicks, with the collector of the shoe.
Oh, that's really cool. Now, we talk about a lot of technology and, different facts about all these shoes. What if you don't know a lot and you're not an expert? Would you say SneakerCon's still just fun to check out?
I would say it's not even about the shoes anymore. When you walk in there, you just feel this vibe of business, the hustle and bustle, right? Like you walk in there, you just get inspired. You want to do more. Like even me, it keeps me young. I travel to all these different events around the world. I see the same age kids to the oldest people doing the same thing, just doing business for themselves, trying to figure it out, trying to flip a pair of shoes, start a t-shirt brand, sell their art prints. Like it really is a place where people can do their own thing and, you know, follow a path that might not be the conventional path for like business and, you know, your career path. Like look at myself, right? I work for Sneakercon. When I was growing up, like you asked me what I wanted to be when I grow up, I would have said a designer or a basketball player, but I never would have thought that I would be, you know, doing sneaker events around the world.
And why do you think Sneakercon is so important to be right here in New York? I mean, why is New York a good fit, no pun intended, for this event?
All the founders are from New York, predominantly from Brooklyn, myself included. And we started here in 2009. It was our first event here. So what we've done is we're celebrating 15 years. So we came back to New York and we had to do a first. So it's the first ever outdoor Sneakercon event. And it's in Coney Island at Maimonides Park.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, we'll be there. A lot of people will be there. And like we said, it's universal. I have a pair of kicks on too, my Nikes. We were talking about our toddlers. They like their shoes. Young, old, everyone needs a pair of sneakers.
All walks of life.
I love it. All right. Well, thank you so much, Will, for coming out.
No, it was a real pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Real pleasure. Thank you for having us.